Hello, welcome back to Yoga with Paige. Today is kind of a chilly winter day here in Florida, so kind of bundled up, got my butt outside, found some sun, and I'm just going to take you along on a little intuitive flow again and see how it goes. So whenever you're ready, grab your mat and let's get started. Let's see what comes up for us here. So today, especially in winter, if you're outside, if you're able to practice outside, I highly recommend that, first of all. Second, if you can get outside, I recommend grounding with me here for a minute before we begin. Just stepping slightly off your mat, anywhere you can find natural, real earth, some grass, some dirt, Mama Earth. We can dig our little toes in here, begin by lifting up the toes, lifting up the heels, really just feeling the earth here. Getting back in touch with nature, back in touch with ourselves through this process. Feeling the sensations, maybe it's cold and maybe it's damp if it's early morning. Maybe it's warm where you're at, the sun warms up the grass, whatever we're feeling. We're noticing that right now. Playing around, taking nice deep breaths. Maybe feeling the sun on our face. We're going to take one inhale above the head, hands come above the head. And exhale, hands to heart center. Deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose. And we can stay here if we like, or if we feel grounded, we can step back onto the mat, prepare for our practice. So one more time, bending the knees, inhale, big inhale above the head. Exhale, hands to heart center. Grounding through all four corners of the feet. Reaching the arms out wide. Bending one elbow and then the other, keeping a slight bend in the knees, especially if this is your first movement of the day. Maybe we start moving the back with it. We start kind of finding this flow of movement. Moving some energy around. Picture us taking some of this energy, moving it around, shape-shifting it, making it whatever we want it to be, just like our lives, just like our day. Finding ourselves here in mountain pose whenever we are ready, fingers spread wide, grounding through all four corners of the feet, thinking of a string coming up through the legs, through the pelvis, through the chest, out through the crown of the head. Nice and tall. Inhale, arms above the head. Exhale, forward fold. Letting the head dangle here for a breath. Inhale, halfway lift. Your version, wherever your hands come. Flat back. And exhale, planting the hands, stepping gently, both feet back, coming into plank pose. Rocking forward on the toes, warming up the calves. Maybe kind of circling the ankles around here, finding some play up on the toes. And finding stillness, taking the right leg, bending the knee, taking it, planting it in between both hands, lowering the left shin, coming into low lunge. Keeping the fingertips on the mat, just raising the chest up. If we're a little too tight for this, we can always take the hands up onto the hips or onto the knee. Finding any variation that feels good here. Maybe we tuck the toes for a little more stability. Deep inhale and exhale, sinking a little bit deeper into the hip, thinking of taking the left hip forward. And on the exhale, shifting the weight back, coming into half split, folding over that right leg, flexing the toes. And on the exhale, pointing the toes. Inhale, raise the chest and flex. Exhale, fold and point. Inhale, exhale. One more time. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, coming back up, folding, shifting the weight forward into that leg, kickstanding the left behind us, raising up so we have this like square kind of 90-degree angle shape here. Reaching onto, placing the elbow onto the knee, reaching over with the left arm, kind of like a variation of, what am I looking for here? Extended side angle. Feeling a nice stretch in the inner hamstring, the inner hip flexor, excuse me. And then windmilling the arm around, placing the left fingertips on the mat, extending that left foot and turning the toes, actually grounding through the outer edge of that foot, reaching over with the right hand. And coming back up, using our core, turning back to face the front of the mat in tabletop pose. Lifting the knees and sending the hips back for downward facing dog, walking the fingertips out, clawing through the fingertips, pedaling out through the feet. Head hangs between the biceps. Lifting the heels, rounding through the back, finding a nice spinal roll here, coming into plank. Gazing forward, taking that left foot in through the chest, planting it in between the hands, coming into low lunge. Keeping the fingertips on the mat or raising up, pressing them into this fleshy part of the bum here, yogi's choice. Taking a few breaths in this nice hip opener. Maybe finding a slight back bend here if that feels good. Dropping the head behind. And coming back, framing the foot, shifting the weight back, half splits. Inhale, flexing the foot, and exhale, folding over the leg, pointing the toes. Inhale, raising up. Exhale, folding everything, pointing everything. Inhale, exhale. Last one, inhale, exhale. Planting that left foot down, coming into low lunge, kickstanding that right foot behind. coming into this boxy shape, and our variation of extended side angle, keeping the chest nice and lifted. And windmilling the arm around, planting the right hand, extending the left overhead as we straighten the leg, grounding through the outside edge of the left foot. Getting a nice full side body stretch here. And sweeping that arm around, taking the left leg back to meet the right in tabletop. Extending the right arm out, left leg behind. Inhale nice and long. Exhale to crunch, knee to nose. Inhale. Exhale, moving with the breath. Inhale. Exhale, last one. Inhale, extend out, this time on the exhale, pointing the toes, reaching back with that right arm. Trying to use the opposition here to lift higher into the air. Gently release, straightening everything back out, dropping that left foot, taking it over to the right side, gazing over at the foot, dropping the hand back to the mat. Taking it back into tabletop, we take cat-cow here. Inhale, drop the belly, exhale, round through the back. Inhale, and exhale, round. Maybe finding a funky variation. And grounding through the hands, lifting the left arm and the right leg, extending nice and long, and exhaling to crunch. Exhale, crunch. Moving with the breath. Last one, crunch. Extending out, this time bending that leg, reaching around, seeing if we can grab the ankle. Using our balance here through the top of that left foot and the right fingers. And releasing, extending everything out, dropping that left hand back and the right leg behind, crossing it over. Coming back into tabletop, sending the hips back for child's pose. Walking the fingertips out. Steepling the hands, very active here. In this child's pose, really stretching out the upper shoulders, the scapula, sides of the rib cage here. And planting the hands on the mat, walking the left fingertips over on top of the right, finding a little C shape. Hands off the side of the mat. Walking the fingertips back through center over to the left side. Right hand comes on top. Coming as far as we need to find this nice side stretch. Coming back through center. Maybe wiping some dirt off our mat. grounding through the hands, rounding through the back, shifting the weight forward, coming into Cobra. Lying down on the mat, hands below the shoulders. Inhale to lift up the chest. Exhale, forehead to mat. This time fingertips come steepling at the edge of the mat, maybe a little bit outside. Inhale. And exhale, forehead to mat. Inhale, pressing up with the fingertips. Exhale, this time turning our cheek, right cheek comes down to mat. Inhale up, this time exhale, left cheek comes to mat. One more time each side, inhale, exhale. Inhale, raise up. Exhale, fold down, crossing the arms on top of each other, letting the forehead rest here for a moment. Releasing tension in the shoulders, just kind of lying here, letting everything relax. Seeing what comes up for us in this moment, what thoughts arise, what emotions. Exhaling to release a little bit more tension in one area of your body and gently lifting the head, uncrossing the arms, bringing the hands behind us, bending the left foot, grabbing onto the ankle, pulling that ankle into the butt. Getting a nice quadricep stretch here. Pulling it as far in as feels comfortable. Well, not painful. There's a difference between pain and discomfort. And gently release, taking the right side into the buttocks. And gently releasing. We can either take Locust Pose here, or if bow is in your practice, we can take that now. I will take it now. Raising up, gazing up, using the opposition from the hands and the feet. Bending through the back, keeping the legs together. Finding a little rock here. Finding a little fun and gently releasing. Pressing back into child's pose once more. Taking the knees wide this time. Melting down into the mat, reaching out as far as we can with the fingertips melting our heart into the mat. Maybe taking the forehead to the mat. Getting a nice little massage. Gently coming up, crossing the left leg over the right, coming into cow face pose. Inhaling the arms above the head and exhaling to drop the right arm behind us. Trying to grab onto the fingers, feeling the opening of the shoulders, playing with where our legs feel most comfortable. And gently releasing, coming up onto the legs, turning over, finding a little bit wider than the mat, and forward fold, a wide-legged forward fold. Hands come to ankles, trying to pull the head through. Raising up, half flat back, hands come behind the back. Exhale to fold. planting the hands, taking the feet back onto the mat. Took some grass with me. Taking the feet, opening the toes out, coming into Malasana. Finding hip mobility here. Ankles can be, heels can be off the mat if our ankles are a little bit tighter. This pose definitely looks different in every body. But yoga is for everybody. Everybody and everybody. Just finding hip mobility here, maybe raising up and coming back down. Up, down. I'm gonna do a few of these. 3, 2, 1. And coming back up, taking the fingertips to the mat, walking the toes together, coming to find a seat, crossing that right leg on top, coming into cow face pose on this side. Inhaling the arms up and exhaling to drop the left behind this time. Doing the opposite side, seeing how that feels. This side's definitely more accessible as far as the arms go. Always is. The other one I can barely reach, and if we can't reach, that's okay. It's the same stretch. Opening up through the shoulders and gently releasing. Woohoo, there goes my mic. Malfunction. Coming back, shaking it off. Turning to face the side of the mat. Coming into Sukhasana, easy pose. Inhaling the arms above the head, interlacing opposite elbows, coming from one side to the other, finding this dynamic lateral stretch. Taking the head with you, keeping the chest nice and lifted. Built up a sweat here in the sun. This was definitely what I needed on a chilly winter day. Evening out both sides, letting the hands go, coming into Cactus Arms for one of our final stretches. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, Cactus Arms. One more time. Exhale, Cactus. This time bringing the hands around, clasping the hands, bringing them as far out as we can. Trying to bring them to the ground, but find a lot of space here, so we're really opening up through the chest and the upper back at the same time. Finding a little rock. And gently release. I hope you enjoyed this little intuitively led flow. This was basically just a practice for me, and I just wanted to see what would come up, how we enjoy these videos. So let me know what you think. If you'd like me to plan them out better or these intuitive ones, I will link the other one in this video for you right here, so you can check it out if you haven't already. Yeah. Thank you for sharing your practice with me, as always, and I will see you next time. Namaste.